Hey guys, and welcome to another Schematics update. It's time to talk about Planet Coaster again, and for that I have a very sleepy Blind with me.
It's 4 o'clock in the morning?
As usual.
Good morning.
And I have Bo from Frontier with me. Hey Bo!
Hello!
How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Very busy. You know, it's nearing the end of the year now. It's second anniversary's coming up. We had the Toolkit announcement and then the World's Fair announcement, and it's like a lot of stuff going on. And not just for Planet Coaster, also for Jurassic and for Elite, so it's all very exciting stuff.
That's great, and you kind of already spoiled our topics here today. No, that's fine. Because we want to talk about the Thememaker's Toolkit,
Yes.
update 1.8, and the World's Fair pack. And I guess we dive right into it, right?
Sure, yeah.
Cool.
Let's do it.
First up is the Thememaker's Toolkit.
Yes.
What is the Thememaker's Toolkit?
It's the thing that people didn't think we were going to do.
Yay!
Yeah, it's basically, I wouldn't call it modding because I think that sets unfair expectations of like in the modding community of the, you know, what you can do, but it does sort of give you an extra layer of new freedom in Planet Coaster that we're very excited about. I think the FAQ description is the best one, and they say the Thememaker's Toolkit is a Planet Coaster website that you can upload 3D models to. On the website you can then set game options for that model that you've created in your software, and then you can download the version of that model that's compatible with Planet Coaster. Whatever you then download in Planet Coaster, you can then re-upload to Steam Workshop so other people can then enjoy it, and that's basically how it's going to work. And it's starting to look really good. The team is working on the website right now, and they're doing a really, really great job, and we're very confident to have it out this year. So yeah.
So back when the Thememaker's Toolkit was first announced, I read the kind of procedure of how one would get a model into the game like you just described. It seems a little bit complicated and convoluted. Is there any specific reason behind that?
Maybe it reads complicated. I think for the people who are going to use it, once you're used to using it and you have sort of the visuals in front of you, it should, you know, be a lot more clear. And obviously we're also going to have hopefully some tutorials and some guides up on the forums and stuff to help people who want to give it a try. Basically, it does require a certain level of technical knowledge, I think. It's not something that I, for example, personally will be using because I'm not a person who is capable of, you know, using 3D modeling software. Yeah. But, you know, someone like Nick Rogers can. So we basically try, for example, buy it as much as possible, and people that have the knowledge of the tool, I think, will catch on to it fairly quickly. And then I think what makes it so great is that Steam Workshop is integrated in it. So people that are confident in creating things with the toolkit are then going to upload that stuff to the Steam Workshop, and that will then open it up for the other people who are not, you know, using the tool themselves, but do want to use the assets that come out of it in their game. So hopefully that will be a nice sort of circle of how people are going to use the toolkit. Yeah.
So we kind of talked already about the FAQ that you released on the forum.
Yeah.
And the FAQ tells us a little bit about the limitations. So we can build our own rides and coasters and light effects, etc. Is there any reason for that?
I'm not a technical person. Again, I should have started this when we started talking about the Thememaker's Toolkit. Like, by the way, I'm community manager Bo. I'm not a technical person at all. So my answers are actually from the dev team. But basically, you know, the coasters and rides in the game, they're very complex for us to take a huge investment of time and expertise from our team. So imagine how that would translate to a tool for everyone to use. And how complicated that would become. So that's initially where our mindset is with the toolkit at the moment. I can give you some examples of like coasters previously. So the Viper 1 or the Power Up from 1.3, those were coasters that passed through the station multiple times, and that required the team to change the way the station code was working so that they could accommodate that and put that control with you guys, with the players. And also in 1.7, recently we added the Mouse Hunt coaster, which had like a very dedicated support structure that was matching the grid size. And again, that was entirely new, and it's just kind of, it's tricky stuff. So time-wise, for those sorts of coasters, you're looking at least 4 weeks of coding time and then at least 4 weeks of art time. And that's, you know, that's not even the full process. So that's kind of what we do on the back end. So putting that with the player, our idea for the Thememaker's Toolkit is, it should take you between 10 minutes to an hour to create an asset. It shouldn't need to be a 5-week process or whatever. So that's why we just wanted to remove that layer of complexity for now. Hope that makes sense.
So a little while ago, and I do mean quite a while ago at this point, there were some modders that were able to jury rig some stuff into Planet Coaster, such as looping trains.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of curious, what was the team's reaction to people forcing these modifications into the game itself?
There's a certain level of amazement of what our community can create and what they can do, and how players come up with ways to change things in the game. And for me, it's like every time I think that I've seen it, there's something else that comes out, and I'm like, oh wow, they found this, or they figured out a way to do that, or that's an entirely new way to look at this feature that I've never thought of before myself. I think that's the reaction, like the Thememaker's Toolkit as well. That's something that we've been working on for quite some time, just to get it right, and to make sure that we're giving you guys a tool that's usable and that's helpful. So yeah, it's not something that we were surprised by or upset about at all. It's more like amazement of, wow, our community is really cool.
So a question obvious some people will have or already ask, are you looking into expanding the list of items that we can import into the game via the toolkit?
Yeah, so I think we're focusing on bringing it to the community first, and then seeing how you guys are going to use it, what you enjoy and possibly do not enjoy about it, and then from there we're going to look into possible changes or additions, or
Cool.
So we know that you've been working on bringing user-generated content to the game for quite some time now. I even remember talking about it with you the first time we talked with you.
Yeah, I remember when we did, I think it was 1.4 or something, and we did an update, and you guys were like, is there a status update? And I was like, actually, yes, we're still working on it. And you guys were so excited, and I was like, oh man. Yeah, also knowing that you can't yet talk about it until the end of the year is quite difficult sometimes.
I imagine,
but yeah. Sorry, I interrupted you.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
And some people out there in the community are still quite surprised by the announcement.
Yeah.
So I guess the question is, why release it now?
Well, again, I touched upon this in the beginning of the interview. Steam Workshop is obviously massive at this point, which we're very excited about. But for us, it's like, we're nearing the 2nd anniversary of the game. We're still adding new features and stuff, as you we'll see with 1.8, but at the same time, what else can we do to make it a more immersive experience for everyone else of different levels of knowledge and technology knowledge and all that stuff. So yeah, it felt like the right time to add another layer of creativity and see how we can, expand on the workshop even further, and if people will enjoy that sort of level of freedom. But yeah, I'm personally really excited to see what's going to happen with it and what people are going to create. I have no idea what to expect. I think some awesome people from Shy Guys World and stuff, they might enjoy this. And then some more casual players, they might not even use it at all, but they might download some of the things. So I'm kind of hoping that it will be a very natural sort of cycle of how the items will be used. But yeah, it's going to 100% depend on the amazing modding community and people learning 3D modeling software and stuff. That's another really exciting thing, actually. It's for me personally, as someone who's passionate about the gaming industry and about young children learning how to code and all of that stuff, I would be really excited if this is something that could open those doors especially for younger people, or people learning how to code or wanting to learn how to code, and if it inspires them to do so.
So you already talked about the casual or the more casual players and not the hardcore players that look into modding or create its own content. But I saw some concern of the more casual side of the playership of the game that don't want to go through the workshop and download, like it works in City Skylines, 15,000 mods, and they all of a sudden break your game and so on. So I saw a couple of people asking if you will still support content packs in the future and will make them. Obviously, you won't tell us when.
I was going to say, the answer to this question. Yeah, no, it's the same as always. That's not something that I can confirm or deny at this point. Obviously, that's feedback that, you know, we're very well aware of.
Yeah.
And the toolkit is absolutely not the end for Planet Coaster. That's not the intention of it at all. It's more an added layer of complexity and creativity rather than going, we don't want to do this stuff anymore, you do it. So yeah, that's all I'll say.
All right, so we've talked a good amount about the Thememaker's Toolkit. I think it's time to move on to update 1.8.
Fun stuff.
Can you give us a small overview of the new features that will be added in 1.8?
I will do my very best. Yeah, as always, it's a big one. It comes right before the anniversary update. It's not. I don't think it counts as the anniversary update because it's October, but it's basically, again, filled with cool stuff. So we've got restaurants. Restaurants are very similar to hotels in that you have to do like a main facility and then you can expand on it with like additional little blocks to make them bigger and more impressive. You can dress them up, you can customize them, you can use the in-game blueprints. Guests that are visiting the restaurants, they're leaving with a boost to happiness, food, drink, all of that. You can also create menus. That's actually something that I really like because you can look at the in-game brands. So like, for example, I want to have a Cosmic Cow restaurant or I want a Chief Beef restaurant, and you can like customize the menus for your guests. And then, of course, similar to hotels, you can also add perks, which attract more customers, but also increase your running costs. So that's sort of the new cool big feature that's coming. We've got more vending machines. So in 1.7, we added a few vending machines, and now we're doing a bunch of other brands as well. So that's pretty exciting. You can grab donuts or Tiki Chiki on the go. We've added a whole bunch of new fireworks. They look so cool, by the way. Did you see the live stream with Sam Denny?
Epic.
Oh, the letters and the heart and the star, like so nice. Yeah. So I'm really excited to see what people can do with that. You can customize your operations staff. So that was a requested feature from the community that we've seen a bit, where they want to change the way that the ticket booth staff look, so the ride operators. So now you can customize their colors, which is quite exciting. We've added lapping to 38 in-game coasters, so that's pretty cool. Yay! Oh gosh. We've updated object browsing. So we've added a better tag system. We've added a favorites section. And some better categorization as well. So that was a long-standing quality of life thing that people have been requesting. I'm not going to hold my hand up now and say that it's perfect. I'm sure you guys will find flaws within the system, but at least we've been working on, you know, trying to make it better for you guys and improve that. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. There's some few more minor additions and quality updates that will be dropped as well. Door speaker triggers, and we're removing this blue glow that people didn't like around scenery items. So yeah, that's like a few little things that are added as well. But yeah, that's basically the free part of update 1.8. So yeah, was that short enough?
That's pretty short. Okay. So talking about lapping and operation modes for the coasters, there are some coasters, and I remember talking with Sylv and Sam Denny in front of the restaurant after Frontier Expo about it.
Yes.
So there's a coaster, the Viper 1, and it's forced to loop, even if you just wanted to run one lap. So my question is there a one lap only mode for the Viper 1 in the game now?
I'm not sure about that. The only thing I know about 1.8 is that we've added the lapping thing to other coasters. So that technology from the power-up in the Viper 1 you can now use on most coasters. But I actually don't know if that means that we've removed it from Viper 1, so I'd have to check for you. As far as I know, it looks like different track sections that you add, so maybe they've done that retroactively on the Viper 1, but I wouldn't know at this point. I was told that it was very complicated because they had to go back to all the other coasters and then confirm that they worked the same way and make sure that the new lapping mode made sense with a certain coaster as well. So yeah, they're not all going to be having that functionality, but I think it's 38 in total that have
If not, strongly worded tweet at Sam Denny.
That always works. That always works.
By day and during the week, I am a full-time, illustrious content creator in this amazing industry, promoting and advertising video games and doing this full-time for a living. But on the weekend, on the night shift, I clean a fast food restaurant to pay my rent.
Oh my god, I had no idea.
We are getting these burger vending machines.
Yes.
And I have to ask, how on earth do these pass any sort of food safe laws?
Hey man, we've got snack walls in Holland, so I am not picky about these vending machines.
How is it safe to eat a burger that is coming out of a unmaintained, poorly managed vending machine?
Who says they're poorly managed? That's all up to the staff that you hire.
In my park, they're certainly poorly managed.
I'm sure that they will be very well maintained by the Planet Coaster staff. As I said, we have these like horrific snack walls in Holland. They don't always look appetizing, but no one's ever died from it as far as I'm aware. So yeah, I think it's okay.
Oh gosh.
I'm not picky, what can I say?
Reassuring. I think I killed Advo.
I kind of want to eat later, so let's move on before I imagine stuff. So let's move on to the big news or the big announcement this week, the World's Fair pack.
Yeah, that's exciting.
Yeah, it's super exciting, and I think Jonty called it months ago. I don't know why and how he knew, but he did, kind of.
Yeah, we've called packs before. We called studios.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah, fucked it. Yeah. Anyway, can you give us a short breakdown of what's in the World's Fair pack?
Yeah, absolutely. I've seen some people before on the forums going, it's really time for an international pack wear. And I'm like, yeah, actually, just wait a little longer. It's coming. So yeah, World's Fair pack is a pack that I believe celebrates culture. Yeah. We're introducing 10 new brands from around the world. So we've got brands from the UK, United States, Spain, France, Germany, Japan, China, Mexico, Italy, and Morocco. Mm-hmm. Each brand then has a dedicated shop. So, for example, the UK brand is called Sugary Emporium. It's a sweets store, so it has all sorts of lovely, delicious sweet treats. Every theme also has a dedicated building set. So, for example, in the images that we've released, you could see June Delights, which is the Moroccan brand. And there's this like beautiful Mediterranean-looking wall set in there. So yeah, that comes with the theme. So it's all based on the architecture from that area. Cool. Then signs, props, scenery pieces, etc., etc., etc. Then we've got 2 new coasters and a transport ride. So we've got the Gixxer and the Interceptor, which is a dueling duo of launched motorcycle coasters. And the Polarity, which is an unmanned transport system which uses magnetic forces to propel forward.
So you mentioned building sets.
Yeah.
And previous packs tended to have roughly 2 to 3 building sets with a couple props each. How big is this pack? Because there's going to be a lot of building sets in there.
Yeah, there is. I think it's over 300 building pieces in total.
That's pretty big.
When you look at overall size, I think it's very comparable to Vintage and Studios. Wow. And they have to be because they're sold at the same price point. So it's a very similar size, but again, it speaks to a different part of the community and what people are looking for. So, yeah.
So you talked about the UK or the English-based shop. There is a German-based shop.
Ja, jawohl, Deutschland.
Will there be currywurst and beer?
Would you like a little exclusive for your podcast?
Oh yeah, please.
So yeah, I can actually confirm your German brand for you. It's called Professor Wurst.
Woo!
So it's currywurst.
Nice.
Yeah, it's really exciting. I really like that one, and for me, it's like a good throwback to my time in Germany. And I'm like, I'm really craving some good currywurst for now.
Yeah.
So you were talking about having lunch before. Please have a currywurst on the info, please.
All right, I will do.
So we all love these mysterious descriptions for rides. But we have to know.
Thanks, Sam Denny.
The Polarity, is it some kind of people mover like Disneyland?
So it's a real world inspiration for sure. Before the podcast, I actually went down to see it because they're finishing up right now, and it's looking really, really cool. I'd say it's a very modern and luxurious experience. It has special dual track sections, T-junctions. It has a 3-lane hub for the trains to go over. So when I first saw it, I was like, looks like a little highway almost, like really cool. 2 trains can basically run in opposite direction on the same track, and all the right sections can have a canopy added. And that looks really, really cool. The canopy then also forms to the shape of the track. So if you have like a weird S-shaped turn or whatever, the canopy will be the same shape. And then you can also add futuristic lights at the bottom of the track that sort of glow. And yeah, it's looking really, really good. But yeah, I think I can't, obviously, for legal reasons, confirm exactly the name or the place, but I think you've hit the nail on the head type thing. But a bit more of an updated version of that one, I guess. Yeah, cheeky. I feel so cheeky right now.
Well, then we fulfilled our job here.
Yeah.
So can you break it down really quick for us? When will it be released and how much is the pack?
Yeah, so update 1.8, which includes the World's Fair pack, comes out next Tuesday on October 16th. So it's really, really soon. Oh my gosh, it's like 5 days.
Yeah, 5 days.
So yeah, update 1.8 again, so featuring the restaurants and all that, that's free. And then the World's Fair is the DLC pack, and that costs $7.99, and that's completely optional to buy.
And so, one final question, because we have to ask.
I know.
Any news on the advanced move tool crash?
You had to end it with this question, didn't you? We're still continuing to look into that one. And actually, we just posted on the forums as well, like this morning. With update 1.8, we're adding Watchdog, which is a feature that's also in Jurassic World Evolution, and we've now put it in Planet Coaster as well. And basically, that's a tool that sounds very scary, but it isn't. It helps us identify and resolve like really long-standing, complicated problems like the advanced move tool. So basically what will happen is if you run Watchdog, if your game hangs, which seems to be the problem for most people with this particular crash, so you have to wait, I think, about a minute, and then a Watchdog is going to prompt you to crash the game for you, and that will automatically generate a crash report that gives us a specific type of data that will really help us narrow down what's going on, because we've seen the crash for people with like really high-end setups, different setups, different sized parks. Like it's a very tricky one to figure out exactly what's happening. So this is something that's really going to help us gather that information and then hopefully find a solution for people who are having this issue. So I hope that's at least a good step forward for you guys, and maybe with 1.9 or whatever comes after 1.8, we'll have some better news about this one.
I know some people will just be happy to hear that you've been working on it.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. It's one that bothers us as well, because we have a dedicated QA team, and they've tried everything and we can't seem to narrow down what exactly is happening there. So yeah, it's just as much for us to figure that out and make the experience for you guys better. It's frustrating on both sides.
Okay, Bo, you made it.
Yay, I did it!
So first of all, thanks, Bo, for being here again.
Thanks for having me. Lovely talking to you guys.
Yeah, it is. And thanks, Blind, for getting up this early.
No problem. I'll do it again.
And thanks to you guys out there watching this video. If you have any comments, questions, suggestions, let us know in the comment section. Hit the smash like whatever button, you know what to do. And if you really like this video, you may want to consider heading over to Coffee to buy the editor Ed, who's currently stuck on an ongoing ride on the latest ride, whatever type it is, and he desperately needs a maintenance staff to fix the ride so he can get off and edit this video just for you. So go over there, spend some money on him. See you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.